Welcome to Quarantine Stories. Welcome to hashtag Lockdown Stories, hashtag Bedtime Stories. My name is Inam. What's up? And this is Season 1, Episode 21. The title of the story is called The Narrow Escape, where people are escaping. So, that's the title of the story. With that, let's begin with what the story is. Hope all of you are fine. The lockdown is almost in the ending stages. Hope all of you are safe and strong. Now, let's begin with the story. This story takes place from this character called Conrad. Okay, Conrad is a young man who wants to make a fortune. So he walks into a kingdom, very wealthy kingdom. So when he's walking in, everybody's busy, nobody is speaking to him. So he's asking people, what's happening? What is happening? And he meets one old man on the way. He asks, old man, is this a good kingdom to make a fortune? I am a young man and I want to put my life into making a fortune. The old man smiles at him and he says, there is a brilliant way to making a fortune. There is a king and there is a princess. He says, okay. And the king wants the princess to be married to. Says, okay, to a prince. Says, I'm not a prince. So, what's the problem? The old man says that the princess is disagreeing to everything that the king says. Whomever the king gets to the princess to be married to, she just shoos them away. And let's say the history of princess is such that she is very specific, but she disagrees with her father just for the fact of disagreeing with the father. Okay, now we go to the princess where she wears a dress. If the father gets her some shoes, she doesn't like the shoes. If father gets her food, doesn't like just because the dad has gotten that. So that's the story of the princess. So the king wants to get the princess married is on one hand, and on the other hand we have the young man called Conrad. And he wants to make fortune. So he decides, this is a good idea, not bad. I will go get married to the princess and make a fortune for me, So he goes, he thanks the old man and he goes to the palace where all the young princes are seated. So there is one prince who's very handsome. His name is Prince Marcus. So he has a crown and he is waiting. He is the favored one to marry the princess because he is deeply in love with the princess. Now that's on Prince Marcus' side. What's happening here? So there are other set of princes that are there. Conrad observes everybody. He decides, the only thing that is gonna set me apart from all of these people is to go directly to the princess, and I need to do something different. So he goes to the garden where the princess along with her lady friends are walking. So he goes and gets all the flowers, puts them in the basket and takes the flower and goes right in front of the princess, in front of her lady friends, and kneels down and says, I'm not a prince. My name is Conrad. I will be your loving husband as much as I can, and I will love you as much as I can. And he gives her a rose. Okay. The princess, taken aback from this, takes the rose and says, oh my god, yes, I will marry you. You go to the king and let's set this forward. Conrad is extremely happy. So they go to the king. King is pissed off completely. He says, "What's wrong with Prince Marcus? Why don't you marry Prince Marcus? What is Prince Marcus is the prince of northern lands, and Conrad is prince of nothing land. So what's the point of marrying this no good point of nothing of a man? I know for a fact that he cannot keep you happy. Come on, princess, you need to think on your feet. What are you doing?" Princess just says, "I want to marry him, and that's how it's going to be." So on that note, they go and they get the dresses stitched. News spreads that Princess is going to marry Conrad. Conrad is very happy. Princess is very happy, and both of them. A month goes by, and in that 1 month, entire plate shifts. Conrad goes through a lot of experiences where the princess keeps pointing to his gaps, how good he is not as of now. You're okay, but you're not that good. You're not as good. And guess whom does the princess keep comparing him to? Prince Marcus, right? So Prince Marcus is the man who the princess keeps referring to. I think you should talk like Prince Marcus. I think you should wear the dress like Prince Marcus. I think you should have a body language of Prince Marcus. I think you should have a horse like Prince Marcus. I think you should wear the watch like Prince Marcus. I think you should be Prince Marcus. Conrad, listening to this day in, day out, decides, "Why don't you marry Prince Marcus?" Princess gets angry, like, "Yeah, I want to, but father wants me to marry, and I don't like agreeing to my father. And the only reason I'm marrying you is because you're the most unsuitable man that is there, and you're the one man that makes my father very unhappy. So I like to see that." Now, cat's out of the bag. Conrad listens to this. Now Conrad has a decision to make. Do I marry this person for all the fortune and live like this for the rest of my life, or do I take the right step in getting this person married? So Conrad thinks, and he goes to the king and he says, "King, I've got a solution for you. Please go tell your daughter not to marry Prince Marcus. She will do the opposite, and ask her to marry me, and she will do the opposite. Basically, your daughter does the opposite of whatever you want." 1 month passes by after this information from Conrad to the king, and guess what? Conrad is the best man at the prince's wedding along with Prince Marcus. Prince Marcus and Princess, they both get married and they both live happily together ever after. And seeing this, the king of the princess, the father of the princess who's a king, is very, 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 very happy, and he assigns Conrad a ministerial post in his kingdom so that he earns a lot of money, and he was very impressed with Conrad's cleverness to get his daughter married. And with that, every single person lives happily ever after. The king, Conrad, princess, Prince Marcus. The old man who told Conrad passed away, so he was ever after happily. And this is the end of the story, and the title of the story has been The Narrow Escape of this person called Conrad. What's the takeaway from this story? Do the right thing. If not now, it'll fetch you a good spot later. It'll fetch you a greater fortune later. On that note, I'm gonna end this episode. This episode has been a narrowing and harrowing escape for me. With that, my name is Inam, and I will be seeing you on a later episode of the lockdown stories, and this has been episode 21, guys. See you. Bye bye, guys.